The Bible is for me.
We're live.
We're
Do
alive.
it live.
We're
do
alive.
it live.
Yeah.
You do it live.
Pumped up. I'm getting all pumped up for this.
Okay. You ready to start? Do we need any?
Yeah. Check.
Check.
Do the
check.
mic with the thing.
We don't
Yeah, I'm
even
good.
need it. All right, let's do it.
Let's. Hey. Oh, do I start or do you start?
I thought you said let's, and I thought that was the start of a.
Yeah. Oh no, it was like You said should we start, and I said let's. Let's start. I left that part out. I left
let's get it
go.
going.
Yeah. No, that's what it was implied. Yeah, it's like the understood you.
Or the formal usted. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is summertime, and Tim and I are in peak form. We're prepped. We're ready. We are not in the same room while we record podcasts.
No, so it's the way I think it's good for everybody to have a little bit of a break. You know, just a little time, just a little vacation.
You're calling this a break?
It's just a break.
I thought it was just like a couple weeks. You're calling it like a break? We're on a
not
break?
Like official. We're just on. It's just like a little. It's like a little break. Just some space. Just some.
Are you
space.
podcasting with other people?
No, I would never. No, don't ignore the hat. It's fine. It's fine.
Tim,
I would never do that to you, Anthony. Let me just go check out the 259th episode of Ninjas with Butterflies podcast and see who's on that one.
Our friends ninjas. Hello, guys. This is the Bible's Funny podcast, and we're here with our very favorite segment called Christian Movie Club. And it's summertime, and we are, for the next couple of weeks, going to be podcasting, not in the same place, and but we're going to keep podcasting because we can't stop, and we won't stop. So
we can't stop. We can't stop traveling either. We don't stop moving.
We're just constantly on the move. You think you know where we are, and then we're not there anymore, and we're gone, and we're someplace different. And it sounds really cool, but really it hurts our back because our bed is so comfy at home. That's the one we want to be on.
I slept in an RV for 2.5 weeks just now, and I'm over that. So I just need any sort of thick bed, anything like thicker than like 12 inches, because that was pretty miserable.
That's a good request to put out to the audience. If anybody has a bed that's comfy, send it to Tim, please.
Yeah. Speaking of uncomfy beds, you know where I used to have a really uncomfortable bed?
Where's that?
It was at camp.
Camp?
Whenever I would go to camp, we had a real crappy mattress, and it smelled like mildew, and I loved it. I loved every bit of it.
Nothing quite like camp. You know, we just released our Church Camp Stories podcast, which was really great. And so we thought it just could be a fun kind of summer theme here in the Christian Movie Club that we would review a movie that goes by the name of Family Camp.
Family Camp.
Family Camp. It's like church camp, but the whole family goes.
Yeah, is that it? I mean, I know that's a real thing, but I've never done it. I just did camp with my friends.
Yeah, we never did it on like as prescribed. Like so I think we've mentioned before, Tim and I traveled for many years and did improv comedy at church camps, and at a few of those my family came with me.
Right.
But I never went to like a family camp. I never did. I think I went to a blended family camp, which was very special.
Just so you could like get to know the extended members of like your step siblings and your stepdad, like all these folks. Is that why?
That was the chat. There was like a whole activity that was like, try to figure out who is in your family, which one of this group of people is in your family, and you had to,
yeah. I feel like you could have filled in like an entire like half of a camp, like the whole campground with your family and who belongs to who and how are y'all connected. Like you could have spent a week trying to figure it all out for sure.
Yeah, I do. I do vaguely remember like a weekend of that. But this is not what we're here to talk about today, is my past family trauma. We're here to talk about Family Camp. Okay, the film released in 2022. Tim, what do we need to know about Family Camp before we discuss?
Here's what we need to know. It's got an hour and 51-minute runtime, so it's
Mm-hmm.
it's a little lengthy.
Mm-hmm.
Written by Brian Cates and Renee Gutteridge, and directed also by Brian Cates. This film grossed almost $4 million, which sounds like a lot of money. It is, I'm sure, but I didn't get like how much it actually like production cost. Definitely high quality of production here. I don't know how profitable it actually was, because the streaming stuff isn't clear either. But this film stars Tommy Woodard and Eddie James as Tommy and Eddie. They are collectively known as the Skit Guys.
The Skit
If you are
Guys.
unfamiliar, the Skit Guys are a comedy tandem, well known in the Christian comedy industry. We've obviously known about them. They have performed in the genre, in the realm that you and I have been connected with for so long. And these guys are kind of like, if you don't know them, they're kind of icons in this
Little bit.
world. Yeah, like they had all the cool jobs and all the cool gigs, and then we could kind of like feed off of the little things that they didn't want to take, or they couldn't. People who couldn't afford them would just hire us to come out.
That's
and
right. That's
do
what our
gigs, so-
website said. If you
Mhm.
can't afford the Skit Guys, have we got a show for you?
We are much less expensive.
Did you ever
But
meet
yeah.
them, by the way? I meant to ask you that.
I don't know that I ever did. I think I was at an event where they were at, but I didn't actually go.
Yeah. They were, if you're listening to this and you're not quite placing them, I will just say probably their most famous thing, they did they were a lot more like teaching oriented. Like they were really on the front end of making like kind of like funny videos that also taught, things in like at the end of it, you kind of were like, oh yeah. So they had this one that was like, one of the characters was like God, and the other one was like being shaped like a sculpture or something, and it would go like ding ding ding, and the guy would go, ow, that hurts. And that's not a great example. That's not a great like
No, I thought it was a great example.
what it is.
It's
But it was like,
hilarious.
if that video at all sounds familiar to you, because a lot of people saw it. It was super super viral before like even viral stuff was viral. That was them. That's the Skit Guys.
Yeah, yeah, and not to like disparage them or anything, of course. Again, these guys are icons in this
No.
industry.
Yep.
But they always like they made a claim. There was a lot of claim about them doing improv, and it wasn't that, like they weren't actually improvising the stuff. They had a lot of the stuff was really scripted. It was the same stuff over and over, which is fine. I always felt a little bitter that they were calling what they did improvisation when it wasn't actually made up, because that's what we did. Anyway, Tommy he was in The Forge. I don't remember him being in there, but I think kind of, oh my god, yeah, maybe anyway, he was in there. He was in The Forge, The Glory of Christmas, and a couple of different shorts. Eddie basically has done the same. They work together. I mean, they did work together. They've since parted ways. But yeah, these guys, who else is in it? Lee Allen Baker as Grace. She was in Will and Grace. She was in A Week Away, the TV series, not the movie that we watched. She was also in a film called Bringing Back Christmas, Christmas in the Pines, Wish for Christmas. So she's got a little theme there. She was in 98 episodes of a show called Good Luck Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
I'd never.
Wait, is
I
that the-
never have heard of that show, and I looked
that
it
the
up, and I
mom?
still, again, sure. Why
No,
not?
I'm sorry. In the movie that we just watched, Family Camp, this is the
Yeah,
mom
yeah, yeah.
you're describing?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I
Um,
do recognize her from that old
Never
Disney show.
even seen it. Oh, okay. That's why I didn't know it. What else is she? Oh, she was also in episodes of House, and then King of Queens, and Hannah Montana, and that 70s show. So she's been around. She's done some work.
Killing it.
This film also stars Gigi Orsillo as Victoria. She was in The Perfect Christmas, Christmas at Keystone, Hope for the Holidays. So again, we have a little bit of a theme here. She was also in an episode of Entourage, and That's So Raven. She looked really familiar, but like I didn't recognize anything except for Entourage. that I would have seen her in. I swear she was in one of these other Christian films that we watched over the last 20 years that you've been making me do this. But she wasn't in it. Also stars Robert Amaya as Joel. We know him. He's a regular on this podcast. Probably the most
So happy to
regular,
see him.
maybe even more regular than like a Kirk Cameron. He's kind of in all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
He was in Courageous and Alter Egos and War Room. So he's been all over.
Star of Alter Egos.
Yes, the
Yeah.
one star. Cece Kelly plays Hannah, the daughter. She was in Chicago Fire and a few other things you've never heard of. And then finally, Mark Christopher Lawrence as Pastor Dave. He was also in Bringing Back Christmas. There's a lot of Christmas folks here for right in the middle of the summer. And then finally, Clayton Royal Johnson plays Corbin. So he's been in a few. Corbin was the daughter's kind of love interest at camp. The smooth talking boyfriend. He's been in a few different things. He was in like Criminal Minds and a film called My Best Friend's Exorcism, which sounds great. Most of these things you haven't heard of, but one thing you have heard of is a TV show, TV series called Stranger Things.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's in there as a character named Andy, which you wouldn't recognize by the name. But then when you see a picture, if you go to IMDb or whatever, you see a picture of him in Stranger Things, and you know exactly where he was. He's like one of the buddies in the back. He's very 80s up in Stranger Things, of course. But yeah, that's it. That's who's in it.
Respect. I didn't see My Best Friend's Exorcism, but I did see My Best Friend's Exorcism Christmas. When they had to do it again around the holidays.
Yeah, they pulled out the ghost of Christmas past.
The ghost was too busy in the big city, didn't want to go back to the small town where they grew up on the Christmas tree farm. You get it. You've seen it, even if you haven't seen it. Okay, so maybe like a quick summary of Family Camp from your findings?
Yeah. IMDb says, in this faith-based comedy, when two polar opposite families are forced to camp together, the dads struggle to hold on to their families and marriages as they compete for the coveted camp trophy.
Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is the part of the podcast where I like to share that, like I said, we kind of we're in similar spaces that the Skit Guys inhabited. No shame on these two individuals. There was like some drama with them. They are no longer creating content together. I don't know much about them or what went on, but it takes a lot of work to make a movie, and they set out, made a movie, and it was we watched it separately, we consumed it. We have come here together today to discuss it. Everything we're going to discuss, this is tricky because Tommy and Eddie are real people. Tommy and Eddie are also characters in this movie. We don't know the real people involved in the movie, so we try not to, this isn't to get together and read intent into any things or whatever. We're just here to discuss the movie that was made, that was Family Camp. So it's hard to make a movie. People do it. They put the time out there, so we all have stuff to watch and enjoy and consume. And then we get together here with our friends and we discuss it. So that's the purpose of this podcast. Movie was made. It's out there. It's free on Tubi and YouTube. I'll put the link in the show notes if you want to check it out. But before we do, Tim, can you give us a sense of the reviews? What are the people saying about this movie, Family Camp?
Yeah, definitely a mixed bag. And we have the full gamut. At the top, there's a 10 out of 10. Titled Hilarious Yet Thought-Provoking Message. This does seem like maybe it came from one of the producers. This faith-based comedy comes across like a National Lampoon Vacation parody, though I think it's better than any of them. Okay, that's a little strong. Yeah, Tommy and Eddie work well together. I love the movie, funny and good message. One of my favorite reviews was this one, 7 out of 10. It was like this reviewer couldn't quite make up their mind, and it kept wanting to justify like why they said certain things. Pretty good, not amazing, but good is the title. First off, we love the Skit Guys, so that's what brought us here to begin with. As for the movie, it's good, very enjoyable. It's fairly predictable. It's very similar to other things you've seen before. It's not amazing. It's really not overly religious, although that's partly what we came here for. LOL. Regardless, it is an enjoyable watch. It's a fun, cute movie. I'm super glad they made it, and we hope others will follow. In summary, it's good. Not blow you away amazing, but again, I think that's really what they're going for. Like, I loved the back and I mean, it's you should maybe figure out your review before you start typing it. It's fine. I mean, it's good. I liked it, but I mean, it wasn't great. It was like I liked it, but it's not for everybody. I mean, it wasn't exactly what I wanted either. So
I liked it. Did I like it? Like I wouldn't say I liked it, but I did like it, is what I would say.
right. Another one says 6 out of 10, run of the mill. I love the skit guys. They're class act and super funny. Then I was loving the movie for the first 45 minutes. Then they get lost in the woods, and I was lost as well. Then the rest goes downhill pretty fast. Pretty fast. 1 out of 10, not funny, very painful and sad. Then they go on. Let's just be clear. This movie is not funny. It is not about family having fun at camp. It's full of pain and sadness and dysfunctional families. Do not expect to be laughing at this movie. Just expect to be sad and disappointed. Another one says 1 out of 10. Don't waste your time. 30 minutes in, and I'm giving up, up on the absolute pile of garbage. 1 out of 10 says garbage camp. This is the worst movie I've seen in years. Horrible acting and non-existent script full of religious dribble. Stop already. I'd rather watch
Garbage
anything
camp.
else. And then this is my favorite review. 2 out of 10. Titled, Allergic reactions are never funny. Emphasis added. But that's the title. At this point,
Yeah.
I don't know how people cannot know somebody who has life-threatening allergies, and yet Sony Animation Films and Family Camp still think that this is funny. Not only was the scene unrealistic of when you need an EpiPen, but it was also offensive and triggering to anyone with allergies. On the plus side, most people didn't even make it far enough into the movie to get to that scene. I want to talk to this person and say I'm so
No
sorry
kidding.
for ever saying I have allergies to pollen. Like, I do, but I feel like, I'm not allergic enough.
I know, and it's like you're ashamed of it every time it comes up. Like you don't own it, you know? I hope on this podcast we've created a space where you feel comfortable talking about your allergy to pollen, okay?
Yeah, I will. It's not funny though. It's not a funny laughing matter.
No.
Anthony.
No, it's not.
Some people need steroid shots to get over their pollen allergies, and it's not funny.
You're allergic to pollen, but we're not allergic to you.
Mm,
Okay?
thanks.
We can't get enough of you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. That's a wild observation.
Yeah, it was a strong take.
And I just
strong
feel
thing to
like-
pick out to be like offended by, but okay.
I feel like the allergy kind of reaction is just so you know what I mean? It's like this isn't a new one. This isn't
Right.
like they weren't cutting a new ground with this one. It is like to me being like maybe you don't realize people do slip on banana peels. Like maybe you're just walking around thinking people are steady walkers all the time. Banana peels cause injuries. Just so we're clear.
Mm-hmm.
You ever had a cream pie in your face? Have you?
Things.
Okay, great. So that's a great array. Garbage Camp is a creative title for a review.
Mhm.
So tip of the cap there.
It's just me.
I'm gonna do a more thorough summary of the film. Again, it came out in 2022. It is available for free to watch. Link is in the show notes. You can go check it out for yourself. Heretofore on the podcast, we will be sharing spoilers about the movie and discussing our thoughts. So if you'd like to watch this movie without spoilers, I'll give you a moment now to click in the show notes and watch it. 2 hours though, so you got to set aside some time. Get yourself some popcorn. And I'll give you a chance to do that now if you would like to, and then we will proceed with our regularly scheduled programming. Okay, great. Here we go, Family Camp. A more thorough synopsis. The only thing Tommy Ackerman hates more than losing a sale is the idea of marriage counseling. Tommy struggles to avoid both while spending a week at family camp. However, A missed online payment means that the Ackermans have to share a yurt with the Sanders family and their harmonica playing chiropractic patriarch, Eddie. The Sanders are the 3-time camp champs, and the Ackermans are determined to dethrone them, but everything changes when Eddie and Tommy get lost in the woods. Hannah gets a camp crush who tries to make out with her while her dad is presumably dead. Henry is not good at sports, so he goes alone into the woods to try to impress his dad. Victoria finally shares that she is overlooked in her marriage. Eddie completely and finally hears her and shows that by getting onto a microphone where she can't talk. She can only listen to him to say how much he hears that she's not being listened to enough. Tommy loses his promotion to his work arch nemesis, and everyone learns, as the camp family theme song so perfectly articulates, that family is family.
A lot of lessons were learned from this movie, and you summed it up so beautifully.
There was a lot going on, and I felt like if you weren't familiar, if you didn't know the story, I had a lot to catch you up on. So I'm sorry if that felt like rangy.
Right. That was
I need you to know.
Yeah, that was the movie. There's so much stuff going on. Like, yeah, that's let's talk about it.
Let's get into it. We've consumed. Let's discuss. Let's start with our first question, which is, of course, Tim, what was something that was shocking to you?
Most shocking to me was how many times they tried to do like literally the exact same thing as 80s comedy classics. Like like literally the same scene from Christmas Vacation on the drive to camp. As they're like getting past and passing another truck, and then a semi comes. Like the same thing. Then they had the beaver instead of the groundhog that Caddyshack used as the recurring character. Like the amount of things they just straight up ripped off, and it wasn't like a nod to it or something. It was like the cookie cutter. That's what happened there. That's what we're gonna do here. Nobody will notice. But as one reviewer obviously said, even better than the National Lampoon stuff. So
yeah, they really kicked it up a notch.
Yeah, who needs Chevy Chase?
It definitely did. It felt like a movie kind of premise I had seen before, and we were tracking that way. I definitely felt the same way. I mean, for me, I did have the shocking thing just as the CGI beaver, because I just felt like we didn't need it, and I didn't know what we were doing with it. And then I almost was like, oh, at one point it's like gnawing on a dock. So I thought like, okay, you might be like planting a seed that then that dock's gonna... Nope. We just had a beaver kind of roaming around, like a CGI beaver. Not particularly well CGI'd. Like this is like the CGI they could afford. And I just thought, I don't know that we needed a CGI beaver storyline in and amongst the other storylines.
Yeah. I mean, I'll skip to my low point. The beaver was my low point. Like, I literally wrote low point the beaver and everything it did not add to the story. I just kept thinking, like, what are they doing with this thing? Like, what are we doing with the beaver? Like, what? Why? What? It didn't add. It wasn't like cute. It wasn't. It saved them from being attacked by a bear or something. I don't know. I didn't get it.
It didn't. It was like the clunkiest thing to me, for sure. Definitely stuck out as like, this square peg doesn't fit in any thing that this movie.
You know, if my daughters watch the movie, if I let them watch a bad movie, like, they would probably think that thing was funny.
But it didn't even really do a bit. It just like that would be one thing.
But my kids don't need a bit. They just need to see something and go, "Ha, it's a beaver."
Right. That would have been like the extent of it.
I'm only slightly more sophisticated than that, but I needed to add something to the story. Do anything.
Yeah. Again, like in Caddyshack, you have this thing participating in like that. You know, they're like trying to catch it the whole time and get it out of the golf course. But like this thing didn't do anything. It just was a randomly CGI'd beaver that showed up periodically throughout the movie.
Right.
What was a character you want to see less of?
This is weird because this character wasn't in very much, but Cookie, like I just said, who was she? Like, Cookie was, the camp cook. like what was going on with writing her into the script. It was very similar to the CGI Beaver. Like she was kind of supposed to be weird and quirky, but she was only like in for a
Yes.
minute and then not in. She was in another scene for like 2 seconds. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Do you want a weird character? Do you need like a? Are you trying to have like a Bill Murray kind of character from Caddyshack that's just odd?
Hmm.
Um, and then like used appropriately can like really flavor a film. Like it can make something a little bit more interesting. But it's like, what are you doing with her? Either commit to using her or take her out altogether. And I landed on take her out altogether.
Yeah, I I agree with that. It was like a little romance story, obviously, that was going with like the camp director, but even that was like, but when they revealed that, I was like, oh, they weren't dating. I okay, I guess I thought they were because they're in the scenes together all the time.
Why? Yeah. Why did they even have to have the camp director dating someone? Like there wasn't that character didn't need a love interest. Certainly, like the weirdness of her character didn't add anything to the story either. So like, what are we
Right.
doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for me here, not that there wasn't like several things that were kind of left. I don't know where we leave this. Eddie's family is a bit of a roller coaster. Like you just are like they're great at this camp and they win all the time. And
Hmm.
Eddie is a chiropractor and um I don't know. I was a little, there's a lot going on. Here's the thing I was the most confused on. Eddie's kids are primarily in two scenes, or I
Hmm.
think we're like notably in two scenes. One of the scenes, there's an arts and crafts table and they're eating mayonnaise out of a jar. And I was really grossed out by that, first of all, because that's like one of the more gross visuals to me. And I just was like, oh gosh, okay. They're eating, and they just like give Tommy's daughter, who's like, "Are you eating mayonnaise out of the?" And they like give her this like devil look. And then another scene, Henry, Tommy's kid, he's got his little video camera, and he's like, they give him this weird lecture on the fact that Bigfoot wasn't on Noah's Ark, but they're doing it really condescending, like they're mean.
Hmm.
They're like bullies, and we never got around to like any sort of like they learned a lesson or they were nicer or anything happened with these kids. They just had a scene where they were eating mayonnaise and then bullying people about Bigfoot, and that
Hmm.
was again. I just feel like there was a lot that I when you were like, what character do you want to see less of? When you're thinking that through, I'm like, there were so many cuttable characters, and I say that with like my heart for wanting it to be better. It's like if they're in two scenes, they have a talking role in two scenes, probably cut them because none of us know what that person does or
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. And that's not. I don't think in any of this it's against the actors who were playing the roles. It's the character. We wrote in 50 characters into this film, and nobody actually had a significant role besides Tommy and Eddie and the wives. But even the kids like weren't that significant. They didn't had much to the story, except for maybe Tommy's kids. But it is funny that you mentioned that scene with the mayonnaise because that was not to jump too far, but that was my high point of the whole film. When Hannah looks at them and said, "Are you painting with mayonnaise?" and the kid like grabs it's a paintbrush that's in the mayonnaise tub, and then
Yeah,
he just licks it, looks her
yeah,
dead in the eye, and licks it.
yeah.
I thought that was very funny, and I laughed. That was one, I think maybe the only time I really laughed. But it was that was my high point of the whole thing.
And then the sibling was like in on it too. Like it was. The more I talk about it now, I'm like, I think they're the characters I wanted to see more of. I think I'm more interested now that we discuss. I'm like, I want more of Eddie's kids in this movie because they seem like little monsters, and I need to see what that looks like in real life. Give me where are we at? Give me a character that you wanted to see more of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think for me it's the two Sasquatch hunter guys. Um I mean they weren't great characters, but I would have rather seen a whole movie about them instead of what I watched. So I thought they were kind of fun. They played together pretty well. and yeah, they were dressed well. Everything they were good. They were decent.
They were there for
Hmm.
sure. They were there.
Yeah.
So I feel like you.
There wasn't anything about this that I'm like, oh, that guy. Oh, I would love more of that guy. Like,
I
no,
just
nobody.
I sometimes think about us discussing this, and I'm like, will we just describe the movie, and then we're like, so there was a CGI beaver and these two Sasquatch, right? Like, this is real. This was actually going on. We're not making this up. Yeah, I didn't mind them. We all know I love Bigfoot stuff, so I almost wanted like a little more from them. Like I
Right.
thought, I don't know. I don't want to like armchair quarterback, but I was like, to me, if they sort of thought they did find Bigfoot, like if there was this like threat that like we're pretty convinced Bigfoot is out here in the woods, that might have helped the woods sequence. But instead, they're just, I guess, kind of out there and sad because their show got canceled and kidnapping Tommy and Eddie because I don't know. Yeah, I accept that. The character I wanted to see more of was camp director Joel. I've said it before and I will say it again. I'm just a huge fan of this guy. The actor, his name is escaping me off the top of my head right
Robert
now.
Amaya.
Remember? Robert Amaya. Like, I'll take it. He has a funny, like, I just like his, I don't know, his energy the whole time. What I want to praise him for is like, he doesn't, need a lot to do a lot in on screen. So like in the
Right.
very beginning when they go to register, he's like making his own fishing lure and he kind of like glues it to his hand and then he like it has to deal with the people walking up, so he has to just do the whole scene. And he doesn't it's not in a movie that was pretty like over the top and everything is like very physical and really big and really like cartoony. Robert Amaya, I was just like, he's so good. Like he glues his little thing and then he just does the whole scene. And he had a great bit too where he's like shaming Tommy into going on the dad's hike. And they show he's like, Tommy, you're the only dad who didn't sign up for the hike and blah blah blah. And they do the whole speech. And then like they wrap it up and he's like, good, I'm glad you're going. And then he turns and he goes, hey, Mr. Simpson, you're the only dad who didn't sign up for the hike. And he like walks down and he just starts the same like spiel again. And I was like, Robert Amaya, I am a fan. I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's got a pretty good range, I would say, from the characters that we've seen. I mean, relatively speaking,
Yeah.
he's done a whole, different a slew of characters.
Yes. He basically Mrs. Doubtfired in Alter Ego.
He
And we're
did.
not talking about that enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was a character I want to see more of. Okay, this is becoming my favorite part of our discussions. Give me a character that reminded you of me, because I went through a journey with you on this one.
Okay, good. Okay, I wonder if we have the same person. Um, to me, the
Okay.
character that reminded me most of you was maybe not you now.
Oh
Hear me out.
gosh, here we go.
Corbin, the high school boy love
Okay,
interest. Yeah, yeah.
okay,
Is like he's trying to be kind of smooth, but he's also just he's not like that much of a sweet talking guy. He's just trying to make out with this girl. Like that seems
yeah,
like something you would have done back in the day. Again, I think it's how you probably would have been with girls like back in the day. But then because he comes in hot one day like on the dock and he's like, hey there, you want to go toss the bee around
yeah.
with the frisbee? He called the frisbee the
Notable.
bee. And
The
I'm like,
B.
that's absolutely an Anthony thing. He would do that right now. Hey, let's go toss the bee. That's not a thing anybody says. Like literally nobody's
So
ever said
funny.
that ever in the history of it. Let's
No.
go toss the bee. Maybe Andy Bernard in The Office, but about it.
As is our tradition, I hate the character that you chose for me. And I can't even really track with you. I I don't know. I would call a frisbee a bee. I will give you that. I would.
Right.
I
But
do
he's like
love
he's a good
coming
looking
up.
dude, and he's kind of trying to smooth talk to
Yeah.
girls at camp. Like
Here's the other.
that's you, man. Don't tell me you didn't try to do the exact same thing at
Sure, I
camp.
tried.
Tell me where you met your wife. Tell me.
Sure, I
Tell me
tried.
now.
It's very funny though because I did have the same character for you. This is where I started. was with Corbin, and same reason. I was like, because you're such a smooth operator at camp, and literally on the same moment, I was like, but I can't submit this as an answer because for the people at home that don't know, you're actually very good at ultimate frisbee, and so you would never ever
call
refer
it a
to
B.
frisbee as a B. I also want to say, just like as a zoom in moment, the thing he was holding in that moment was like it looked like this was going to be the most annoying frisbee toss of all time, because it wasn't like a real. It was like a giveaway frisbee from a gas station or something. It was like, the wind is gonna take this everywhere. So I couldn't do Corbin for you.
Okay,
And
but
so
you were going to.
that's where I started, and then I ended on Bramberger, the work rival, because part of me, just for the to be a grown coworker and have no like preconceived like thought of a thing. I don't know. I guess for a minute on this safari I went on trying to find a character for you, I was like, he's at a work. He works somewhere. He didn't, and he like pretty abruptly takes a week of PTO, which is kind of like, usually that stuff's planned out a little bit more in advance. And then his coworker is like, "You're at church camp," and just that whole exchange really reminded me of you. And then also just going like, "We have to close this sale." Like this is becoming a company issue. Like you can't be away at church camp not answering your phone. There's work that needs to be done. And so Bramberger does what is honestly the brave thing and steps in and pretends to be Tommy Ackerman at one point and steals the sale and the commission and presumably the promotion.
Thank you for equating that with me. That's very kind.
You would do that brave thing.
I would. I would take your job in a second.
You would, at least my promotion. I think you'd keep me on the team at some level,
Yeah, we'll see.
Getting your coffee and stuff. Give me a low point for you.
My low point, I already said it, is the beaver
right.
and everything it didn't add. Like the dumbness of the beaver, and it happened to be a theme throughout the whole movie. So, it weighed pretty heavy.
I do think while we have not made a movie or written a movie or anything, I would love to do that one day. I do think of moments where you're like you're in the script process, and somebody in an exasperated way was like, "We can't lose the beaver," and they're like, "But it's half our budget is CGIing a beaver into random scene," and we
already paid for it. Somebody
had to just keep standing up for that beaver, and that would be a great behind the scenes to know on this particular film. The low point for me, I mentioned the frisbee just because that was just such an egregious thing to say. The low point for me was watching a grown man pretend to play a harmonica. Like that was tough.
A lot too. It was a lot of harmonica.
So many scenes, and he's really selling out to it, and he's really trying to make us think he's playing this harmonica. And I don't believe he was playing the harmonica. I could be wrong. The harmonica is not like a particularly elegant instrument to begin with. And in fact, I don't mind the sound. I think it can be cool. If you're good at it, that's great. I kind of want to hear it and not see the person playing it just because it's like, it involves you like doing this. Like, it's just not like, and like moving around. And it's great. It's a fun instrument, but it doesn't have, the aura of like a guitar or, even like I don't know, some of the more traditionally bluesy instruments.
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea is they picked an annoying instrument because the character is supposed to be really annoying. And he achieved that.
Yeah. And it was visually like, okay, I'm tired of watching him play the harmonica.
It was a lot. It was a lot of harmonica, and then ending on the harmonica too. Like you don't need to redeem the harmonica, guys, or the beaver.
No, it didn't need to come back around. It was watching him kind of aggressively pretend to play a harmonica was my low point. What was your high point?
Yeah, well, I'd say the high point with the mayonnaise and the paintbrush was great. I did appreciate some of the jokes that like Eddie had. Like Eddie as an annoying character. I wish they we can talk about it in a minute, but like as we wrap up. But you know, the
Hmm.
character of Eddie kind of it was weird. It took a weird turn in the middle, you know, with
Yeah.
them having their marriage issues and stuff. And you expect something like that, but man, it took like a heavy turn, um,
Yes.
heavier than it needed to be. But when Eddie was a goofball, when he was being funny, when he was like doing his little, you know, as a chiropractor, he's doing like ninja stuff as a
Yeah.
chiropractor. That was a funny take, to be like, I can not only, you know, the chiropractor knows how to fix people in their spine, but he can also debilitate someone by hitting them right in L4, L2. Like
Yeah.
they did a pretty good job with the chiropractor jokes, I thought. But certainly my high point was the mayonnaise on the paintbrush.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great. I mean, undeniable chemistry between Tommy and Eddie. Like you can just see their groove with Tommy as like the straight man and Eddie as like the silly
Hmm.
like relief. Like it was great. They have really good chemistry. That was obvious. I have two things I want to shout out. One, I love outtakes at the end of a movie. I don't know what that says about me. I love them. I want the outtakes during the credits. I'm a fan.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Not necessarily the full dance sequence. That was like the first one. I like the like
Okay.
legit outtakes, like when you drop your mic. Like there were several of them dropping their mic, and I'm like, I don't mind it. I like outtakes.
Yeah. All right.
I
Okay.
know you don't. You don't have to like outtakes.
No,
This
I
is
do. No, this is the thing, and this is something I wrote down. I guess we're getting into this to it all, to the rating, to our
we don't
final.
have to if you want to hold it out, but if you
No,
want to
no.
comment on the outtakes, that's fine.
This is where it is kind of where I was gonna throw it in there. If you're gonna put funny outtakes in, make sure they're funny, because that's a thing. If you just have outtakes of somebody dropping a mic, okay, but is it funny? Like, don't include it at
Yeah,
the end in the outtakes if it actually wasn't funny. And I've seen plenty of films do this. This isn't the only one that did that. But if you're gonna put them in there, hopefully they're humorous, so is something goofy actually happened, not like
right.
what are the best outtakes we have. We got to throw it in there because we got to finish the movie on the dance sequence that shows everybody all together again. Like we've done that before. A lot of these Christian movies do that where it's I get it. It's a big production. You're trying to celebrate the whole production. You probably get every
Fun.
character. It's fun. It's
Hmm.
a fun family way to end it without actually having to finish a story well. You can just phone it in by having a dance party. It's part of the cookie cutter recipe. Um,
Yeah.
but but if you're gonna have funny outtakes, make sure they're funny. That's kind of a key one. But
I track with you on that. I'm gonna say for me, I just love outtakes, and so that I do have as a high point. And then my
I
other
do
high point,
too. Okay, that was the thing is it popped up. I saw the first outtake and I literally said out loud, "Oh, cool, outtakes. This is great.
yeah,
This is what I want to see." And
right.
then not a single one was actually funny. So
I do track with you on that. Let me throw my other thing out though,
yeah, yeah.
just because I don't want to go the whole time without saying it. Tommy and his wife, who the his wife you said is like a pretty like busy actress, like gets a lot of
Hmm.
work. I thought their chemistry in like the initial church scene I really enjoyed. I thought that they had something going, and I liked it. I thought the two of them, she was definitely holding her own. She
Hmm.
was funny. I think in a movie with like Tommy and Eddie, that can be tough, because they're gonna like kind of go like a jigsaw puzzle so quickly. And
Hmm.
she was really solid, in all of her scenes and was
Agreed.
believable. I
Agreed.
believed she was like a mom, and she wasn't like so like over the top and like everything's falling
Right.
apart and we have to go to family camp to save it. It was very well delivered.
Yeah.
Shouts out.
Yeah. She wasn't like a nag or something like that. That kind
No.
of character could have easily been portrayed there, or they could have had her lean more one direction to, yeah. I mean, we've seen it with the Kendrick brothers. They usually write their women in as like awful,
Yeah.
horrible, witches in this movie. Like, but they didn't do that here. She's a good character. She's a good actor. I think, and like you said, yeah, the chemistry between her and Tommy was really good. They seemed very believable, and she was fun and like kind of hard on him at times, but also soft on him at other times. Like she was a great character.
Yeah. I liked it. All right, so we've ended on high points, which brings us to our final conclusion, which I think you're tapping into a little bit. So I'm going to let you go first. What's your final review for Family Camp?
Yeah, like, yeah. I mean, I even thought about the dance sequence at the end. Like, we get it. There's a celebration to being done, but we don't always need to see it. Like, finish the story better. This is a very long movie. Um, I gave it a 1.5. Like,
Oh my god!
this wasn't like good. It was so all over the place with all of the
Yeah,
different characters. Like, it's watchable, but then you get this weird serious turn in the middle. It wasn't that funny. Like, no offense, guys, everybody involved, but it just wasn't as funny as I expected these guys to do. Like, these guys are professional comedians.
yeah.
Tommy and Eddie. They work together. This isn't their first
Hmm.
time working together. I expected more. I actually, like, we had this film, we've been talking about this for a couple of months now as we were kind of looking at the theme for the summer. And I was like, cool, this is gonna be a funny one. Like, it's in my notes. It's like, I'm excited about this one. We gotta watch this one this year. And then it was just a letdown. And with this stupid beaver that's in there. They did have a pretty good soundtrack. They had some good songs that they
Huh?
paid for to get in here. Um, but other than that, it was a dud for me. And I was bummed because I was looking forward to it. I was looking forward to more stuff. I thought these guys in our genre, they're going to put something together that's really watchable and maybe punny and maybe cheesy. But like, man, we've all had to do that before, and it just let me down. So
Yeah.
I got nothing. I got nothing great to say about it.
Wow. Okay, I receive all of that. I really don't have a rebuttal so much as some of my thoughts were, I've been watching the World Cup a lot, so maybe that's on my mind. I think and here's where I'm going with that. You get a shot from a striker, and it's like, wow, he was dealing with a pass, and there's two people in his way, and he shot, and he missed it, but what a good effort. Like, that was a
Mhm.
great shot. He missed it just by a little bit. And then you get a shot from a striker, which is a PK. And then they miss a PK, and you're like, I feel like you probably should have made that one.
Right?
And this is where I'm coming from is like, your budget was clearly solid. The talent was there. It was like, there was a lot there. And
Hmm.
I kind of needed a goal to come out of this one. I was so in trying to be fair, I'm like, how am I judging this too much? I kind of came at like a 3 because the movie moved. They were clearly like, the actors were good. There was stuff happening. Honestly, what's so funny, that one reviewer nailed it. Like, it had a pace, and then they got in the woods, and you were like, what are we doing in here? Like, it's like Eddie got them lost on purpose, but also
Yeah.
was trying to get honey from a beehive and
Well,
ran because
yeah, that's when I got offended the most. With the bees.
super insensitive. And
Yeah.
during July, which is like Anaphylactic Shock Awareness Month too, is
Right.
insane.
I fly my
Um,
flag.
Did you guys not watch My Girl? Have you ever seen My Girl? Like,
Too
wake
soon.
up. So you have that. Like, I'm honestly not even tracking. Like, he did this on purpose, but it very much seemed like it was on accident. But then you're saying it was like on purpose, and maybe he didn't get back on purpose. It got really hard to even track what was going on.
Yeah, and then that like award sequence at the end where he accepts the award for bravery or whatever, and like doesn't even give it. Clearly should have just given it to the kid instead of to Tommy. Like, give it to Tommy's
Oh
kid
my gosh.
who braved the woods to go look for
Right.
his dad. Like, that seems so clear and obvious, and they didn't do that. They missed that.
That
Yeah.
felt like a gimme. And then you do this whole Hogwarts scoring thing where it's like, it's 10,000 points for Gryffindor, and they win now.
Right.
And then he doesn't want to win. It
I'm
just was
still
like,
having a hard time figuring out how you got to a 3 from everything you just described. How did-
because I want
They
to
they
appreciate.
had everything in front of them. They had,
You
like you
had
said,
it.
they had a budget. They had good actors. They had chemistry between characters,
You had
like
it.
people who've known each other for decades that have worked together. The two main characters, like however long they spent writing it. This is such an easy premise. Like,
Yeah.
it's a softball one. Families at a
Family
camp, like
camp.
summer camp, families in churches, goofball guy. Like, it's everything was ready, and it's like you had all the right ingredients for this take, and then
Yeah.
you just overcooked it or undercooked it. I can't tell. But you put too much stuff in it.
I think it's too much stuff, you know?
Right.
Like somebody handed you, I feel like I'm on a cake metaphor kick on our podcast right now, but somebody handed you the eggs and the flour and the sugar, and you were in the Worcestershire just called to you from the fridge. And it was like the Worcestershire in this case is a CGI beaver. You just don't need it. I'm at 3, I guess, because like some of what you alluded to earlier. If you watch this with your kids, I feel like your kids are going to forget about it right afterward and chuckle a little probably in the middle because there's like motifs they maybe haven't seen as many times as you have. And maybe you could say it was like made for kids. It just was like, I honestly thought the movie was really super summed up by the end. In the end, you have this just like dance sequence and this guy singing a song, which kind of sounds right of like, yeah, it's nice. It's Christian-y. He mentions prayer. And then the chorus they keep saying is family is family. Family is family. Family is family. And that was kind of, you're just like, that
Insightful.
felt like the movie to me was like, I don't know what you're like trying to say, I guess, is like, what's cool about the National Lampoon movies, I'll speak, let me just narrow that down to Christmas Vacation, is like, it's a movie about fatherhood. They don't like drone on about it. And all they do at the end is give you this scene of like, he tries to keep things together. He has this huge total meltdown and like he's all out of his control and he's trying to control it all. And they honestly has like a fairly decent thread of this is like fatherhood. And it was like you were missing that you were so trying to decide if this was about what it was about that you ended up going like, but you know what? Family is family.
Right. Like you can have an arc that with a character arc and they learn a lesson or they figure something out because that's what that does also happen in Christmas Vacation. You know, listen, they made us talk about Christmas Vacation.
They brought it up.
They brought it up.
Yeah.
So then I have to naturally compare it to them. That character learns a lesson. Like it's part of the arc. That's what has to happen. But it isn't the point of the movie to have this moral lesson be learned, and everybody can take away something. So make the comedy. You can have the character do the thing, but make the comedy, make it funny, have a crazy ending, do whatever you got to do to like make the comedy. But focus on making the comedy, not on a Christian movie that has some sort of lesson and moral to be learned. Family camp, we're all together. It's family camp.
Family.
Pick one. They again, like you said, they tried to put all the ingredients in and said we're gonna make it kind of funny, but we're also gonna learn something too. So just be on the lookout.
It was. Which I get is also like that's the skit guys, like that's their shtick. That was their shtick. R.I.P. And now you're like doing it in movie form, and I just felt like I don't know, didn't really like land that like what was the point of all of the? It was too many. I should say too many points led me to go. What is the point? And it's very. I can't say enough how much I'm like. It is like when you're a songwriter and you're going like, or any kind of writer. And you're going like, I'm trying to articulate what this thing is, and how you land on it is you say the thing is the thing. Like, hope is hope. Guys, I figured it out. Hope is hope. And everybody is like, wait, we don't know what that means. Dude, you didn't help. You just said the same word twice. And it was a perfect summary of like, family is family. And you go, okay, there you go. I think I'm going to stick with my 3. You're at 1.5. I think those are all fair. If you put this on, if you're a substitute, I've used this bucket before and I need to sort of formalize it. If you're a Christian school substitute teacher, boy, put this at the top of the list. This is a great movie to play when you're not trying to teach and no one's going to complain about it. And every single kid's going to go home and go like, we watched a movie at school today and it was, I don't know. I was drawing the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would draw the whole time.
That was that's where I would put this. And that's family camp. We did it.
We did it.
Family
Man,
camp.
I need a good one. I'm so bummed. I'm like I was really looking forward to this one. I won't go on about this anymore. But man, I was really excited about it, and then just
Yeah.
So I need a good one.
And I can't say enough. I feel like that reviewer just killed it. 30, 40 minutes. I'm like, we're tracking. Like, yeah, cool. You're doing right. Like, you haven't done too much at this point, but you got to get a couple singles to get the rally going. And then It got lost in the woods.
I mean, it's
Yes.
really enjoyable. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's good. I liked it. I mean, I didn't like it, but I
That's
wanted
what
it,
I
but I
did.
didn't want more of it.
I literally did that like unironically with my rating at the end.
Right.
It's 3 stars. It's because it's not good, but it's not
Well,
good.
they gave it 7 out of 10. So I think
Mm.
it's fair. It's if you
Oh,
divide by
tracking right
2.
on. Yeah. Man, actually, and I'm not great at certain things, but I am going to tease this because we have 2 movies lined up for us to do that I'm really excited about. And so, pretty pumped about where we're going from here on Christian Movie Club. So follow along if you're not already at The Bible is Funny. Subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Because I feel like we've got some really good movies coming up to wrap up our summer here. Tim, any final words for the people as we send them out?
No, movie is movie. That's
Movie is
Christian
movie.
is Christian movie.
Okay, love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Hey, love you, bye.
The Bible is for